Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what's up everybody? Thank you guys for waiting around. Hey, y'all know what song this is, man. I'm hoping Brad Holmes ain't on that bull stuff. You know what time it is.
The business.
Yo, all I want to know is, was Brad Holmes on that bull stuff today? I'm hearing a lot of comments in the comment section, man. I'm seeing a lot of reactions. You already know if Brad Holmes on that bull stuff, I want him. I need him. Yo, Brad Holmes, he might need to be gone if he keep up being on that bull stuff. Oh, Brad Holmes, he might need to be gone. Yo, if he on that bull stuff. So we got 42 minutes. Brad Holmes, he might need to be gone. Brad Holmes might need to be gone, man. He might need to be gone, my man, yeah. He might need to be gone, my man. Shout out to Khaled, DJ Khaled with the $4.99 super chat. He said, Derek, save yourself, my brother. No, bro. This what I do. I'm an entertainer, I entertain. Lions fan with the super chat said he needs to be gone, bro. Well, I told ya, and when did I tell ya? A long time ago. Brad Holmes gotta know that he on the hot seat, and I ain't talking about one but both cheeks. Need to be on the hot seat blazing. You gon' understand what I'm saying. Brad Holmes, he might, need to be gone. In other news, we got Mike McDaniel that we did reach out to him. I'll be dropping a video later. Brad Holmes, he might need to be gone. I cannot wait. I've been so hype all day. I see Twitter tagging me. I see people. They wait to see my reaction, man. And I'm gonna give you what you need. Shout out to the super chat. Big Black says, take your blood pressure medication before listening. I got it. It's called White Claw Hard Seltzer. I got the platinum joint. It's called Bud Light. I got whatever I need to do it tonight, cause I'm coming for his head. I'm coming for his head. Oh, no, I wanna hear what he said. Oh, let's go. Ain't nobody do it like me, man. Brad Holmes, he gon' need to be gone. We got Bonzilla with the super chat says, let Derek cook. Absolutely. It's about time y'all let me cook. Well, ladies and gentlemen, are we out of time or we got something new happening, man? Ooh, you have no idea how excited I am right now. I've been waiting to get to hear this man speak. Not a trace. This is not a race thing, but he needs to be fired. Hey, nobody was going there, bro. Shout out to Braylon with the super chat says, yes, sir. Got my popcorn ready for this. Oh, it's like that? Oh, yeah, buddy. Let me take a little sip. Oh, boy. Hey, if you got the reference, shout out to Chris Brown. No bull stuff, man. Hopefully Brad Holmes ain't on that bull stuff today. Pierce with the super chat says, due to Martha. Appreciate the donation, man. All right, so let's catch you guys up to speed real quick. Mike McDaniel was fired. Turns out that the Lions did show some interest in him. They have reached out to him to try to bring him to the D. And I think that is a great move. I think that's a man in Dan Campbell that's trying to save his job. But we ain't here to talk about Mike McDaniel today. Oh, boy. Woo-wee. I feel like Stephen A. Smith right now after the Cowboys lose. We here to talk about Bradley, Melvin Mathias, Jerome Cornelius, Leonardo Ophelius, DiCaprio, Holmes. That's what we're here to talk about. And I've been waiting all day. All day. I was trying to sleep last night. I was like, Holmes! Like, I couldn't even sleep, bro. I couldn't even sleep. I was ready. I need to know. So I need to know. So what should I be? What should I be prepared for? Because I'm hearing mixed reaction. I'm hearing that he took accountability. I'm hearing that he didn't. But I'm hearing it's some stuff I'm hearing that I'm not liking either. Appreciate the super chats, y'all. Because you know I'll do. Oh, by the way, this stream is not sponsored by Omaha Steaks. I started to do it, but I heard that they don't taste that good. So, and I didn't want to just like interrupt you with Omaha Steaks ad. I don't know. But I'm thinking about should I invest in Omaha Steaks? Should I try to be a sponsor? Should I try and get them? So Cordell says he did take accountability. What up, Mon? What's good with you, bro? All right, let me put this poll up right here. Let me put this poll up. Shout out to Khaled with the super chat says, it's bad when multiple Lions creators are angry and annoyed with Brad. Well, really? Ain't that about a trip? Ain't that really? So now they want to get involved? Get out of here. I'm walking here. Get out of here. I was the first one on his fool head. Shout out to Braylon as well with the super chat says his stance on the defensive end will have you blow my top? Really? Ooh-wee. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you all been waiting for, let me take a I might have to go get my other one, bro. I went to 7-Eleven. I bought 4 of them joints because I said, I'm loading up today. Brad felt a little more humbled than usual. Says Sai, in my opinion. He talked about how much he tried. Ain't that all we heard was that he tried? He tried. Bradley Matthias, Ignatius Holmes. Shout out to the super chat, Pierce. We got Lions fans with the man with the donut that says, who do you think requested the interview or started the conversation about Mike McDaniel as offensive coordinator? Dan. Ain't no doubt in my mind. Dan Campbell. All right. Without further ado, let's get into it. Y'all ready? He's always trying to. You can't take accountability when you say in the next breath you're going to keep doing the same process. Oh, Lord. If you say, hey, shout out to Charles with the super chat says, accountability versus how many times he kept saying it's not changing much. All right. You know what? Y'all got me excited, bro. Let's do it. Here's Brad Holmes. Hey, this is a 42-minute press conference. Let us pray for you, Derek. Hey, Khaled, I need it, bro. I need it. Shout out to everybody smoking Rocked On Lions podcast in the chat during Brad Holmes' press conference. Hey, shout out to y'all. Bro, because my man, he was a glazed head. Bro. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of glazed heads, and I'm standing on business. Shout out to Malachi says, Brad on the hot seat. Y'all got, okay, let's get it. Here we go. Brad Holmes. Oh, let me get my popcorn, bro. Here we go. Brad Holmes at the presser. I'm so excited.
First, I want to thank all the players for all their hard work, all their efforts, the sacrifice, everything they put into it. I tip my hat to what those guys not only do during the season, but prepare to get ready.
Side note, super chat. Lions fans with another super chat. Appreciate you, big dog. Says also, side note, we should get Mike McCarthy 4 times NFL highest scoring offense, 9 times top 5, 10 times top 10, and 8 seasons did it with a stationary QB. Hey, listen, man, I got to look into it. Man. I know he'll want to get back at Green Bay for sure.
For the season, so the utmost.
He got the, Brad got the shaky. Whenever you start off and you start thanking people, you already know it's a wrap, bro. When you, you already know it's a wrap. You can hear it, and he got the, Come on, dog.
Respect and appreciation for all they do. Look, Dan and the entire coaching staff, all their hard work, everything that they put into it. Want to thank our fans. They show up, support as they always do. We're very thankful for that. It's just very frustrating that we weren't able to put together a more consistent product for you guys, but we will get better. But just it's so many, like, our trainers, performance staff, their care of the players throughout the season. Our personnel department, I thought those guys did a good job.
All right, so here is this an introductory press conference or is this a season wrap up? I mean, what is we talking about, bro? You can thank them at the end of the thing. All right, you need to get the business. That's like before you trying to get a spanking with, well, Dad, hey, Dad, how was your day? You don't want to remember what the real questions are, bro. Come on, dog. I don't got time for you today, man.
Identifying some good football players, depth pieces that had to play large roles. Whether it's the Muhammad or the Maddox, Rock Ya-Sin, Wheat, Lacey, Stewart, just a lot of guys that ended up having to play big roles. I thought they did a good job of that. But really, just the whole org, it's really too many people to name, but it takes everybody to play a role and give full effort for a whole season. But look, bottom line is, for our standards, this was a disappointment. All right, when we set out for this journey for this season, it wasn't to match last year's record or exceed last year's record. It doesn't really matter what the record is. Bottom line is, if we're not in the dance and we're not competing for a championship, it's a failure. So it's a lot of things that we're going to have to take a long, hard look at. But before I look at anything, I'm looking at myself.
I'm calling. Hey, you know what? You know what, bro? Dan Campbell set the bar, and now you trying to follow it. What? No, this is the first time he's ever done that. Get up out of it. Hey. It ain't nothing he gonna say. A long, hard look. It sounds like we just heard that. Didn't we literally just hear that 72 hours ago? Hey, Dan Campbell for president, bro. Brad Holmes, now you want to, a long, hard look. Now we going to get back, man. I feel like it's cap. I'm going to tell you right now, I feel like he capping, bro. A long, hard, get up out of here. Come on, dog. Okay, all right, I'm going to let you finish.
I have to do a better job. Obviously, haven't been good enough.
Ooh,
look.
You hit a shaky? You hit a shaky, though. It's like, how? He ain't never been under this much pressure. He feeling it. No smugness now, no arrogance now. He feeling it, bro. Shaky voice, all the ha. Why? Come on, dog.
I'm always gonna look inward. So early stages, but already started to identify some things that I can definitely do better. And we're gonna collectively just have to look at everything from top to bottom.
Hey, I'm calling cap on all this. He sound like exactly what Dan Campbell said. It sound the same thing, just different verbiage. Okay, Brad. All right, dog. This how you, so, okay, you don't, all right, okay. You're going to take okay, all right.
Really be honest and just take that long, hard look. And really that's probably the only light that may come out of this darkness, I would say.
What? Does he watch our videos? You know what? He watch everybody videos. He watching everybody. Hey, man, didn't he though? He was like, listen, man, this is what you got to say, man. I already said it, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to say it, man. Brad out there like, why? Looking out. Oh, my God, bro. And we like 2 minutes in. Oh, this is going to be good. I can already tell, bro.
When you have these kind of results, you don't have a choice. You're forced to look at everything long and hard and truthful and honestly, all in efforts to improve our football team and just kind of recalibrate this thing to just to play more consistent football. Questions?
All right. We are 2 minutes and 47 seconds in. And I swear somebody put in the comment section that ChatGTP wrote that. ChatGTP wrote that. I will say this. That face right there, that don't look like a positional value villain to me, not do it. It don't look like a villain to me, not do it. Okay. All right. I had to take the glasses off. Let's see what you got. Okay, so now the questions are coming in.
On that a little bit, what do you think you got right and what do you think you got wrong in the offseason process of evaluating and building a roster?
in terms of get right, I mean, I do think that we brought in some good football players that were able to help. Look, obviously they weren't, maybe just as a whole collectively, just wasn't at a consistent level enough. Look, always hindsight, you can look back and say, well, this wasn't as a consistent level as you would like it to be. But bottom line is we're going to be examining everything. I'm going to be examining everything with those off-season decisions.
Yo, okay. All right, hindsight, right? You said hindsight. First of all, this is the most I've ever heard him say I. This is the most dog, I'm telling you, this is telling. This is very telling. All of a sudden, ain't no smiles, ain't none that happened right now. Shaky voice, accountability. I don't know if a conversation is taking place or he know or he feel like it's going to take place. All right. So let me get this straight. Everybody but like one maybe YouTube creator said that Davenport was not a good decision. Like, we didn't need hindsight. We already had hindsight from the previous year when he was with Minnesota. Every time you sign an injured player, that is hindsight right there. What is you talking about, bro? So it was hindsight that I knew that Davenport was going to be a failure. I knew that. You knew that. He didn't. That it took hindsight to know that, but you already had 2 occasions of hindsight. One with the Minnesota Vikings and one with your first year in Detroit. And then you signed him twice. What is hey, look, I'm feeling like Brad might not know what he doing entirely. He know a little something. I don't know, dog. I don't know. The first, okay, I'm gonna let him finish.
In our processes, but nothing's going to change fundamentally or foundationally in terms of just the type of players that we're looking for and what our identity is built on. That's still going to remain the same, but you always have to evolve, man. You have to adjust.
Dog, stop the cap, bro. Hey, he is capping. He capping, bro. Brad Holmes is capping. What? Dog, I'm telling you. He watched my videos. It ain't no doubt about it. Brad Holmes watched my videos. So you mean to tell me that it took you 5 years to realize that you need to evolve, bro? Stop the cap, bro. And I'm telling you. Now, look, and we just getting started. I really can't wait to hear him. Now I really want to know, how are you going to evolve, bruh? How are you going to evolve? All right, so he can keep talking himself, keep talking, and we either going to get the same or we going to get something different. It's going to be one of the two. And if it's the same, he got to go. He got to go. If he's the same, he not going to do anything for us. Shout out to Lions fan with the super chat. He stay capping. Facts. All of a sudden, this is exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see this. I would like to believe it. I really would. Accountability. I got to do better. Blah, blah, blah. I literally said that. So I'm liking what I'm hearing. But I'm like, you can't be, now all of a sudden you have to realize the error of your ways. It just happens to coincide with the fact that you ain't been extended yet again, that you got 2 years left on. Now you want to make the right decisions? You had all day to do that. Hindsight was Donovan Peoples-Jones, man, you capping, bro. This is cap. I swear, man, if Marcus Davenport comes back, he needs to be fired immediately.
Evolve, and when you don't get the desired results, you got to just look at everything.
All right. So early on, I dig it. It's hard for me to hear, though. It's hard. It's more upsetting than I thought it was going to be. Because basement general manager has been saying it. Bro. You not going to win with the scrap heap. It's not going to happen. You cannot take the scrap heap and win games. Our entire team was built off the scrap heap. And now we got a core foundation. I dig that. Grit, all that stuff. We got them gritty guys. Now it's time to go get dogs. It's time to go get dogs, bro. Period. Grit ain't it. It's time to move on. It ain't all you need. So far, I'm not mad at him. I'm upset with the fact that now it took a losing season to realize that Davenport and you can't make clown show moves, bro. That's what it took. And now we sit here out the playoffs. I told you. So early on, I see humble. That's what I see. I don't know if I'm just going to stay that way, but that's what I see.
Brad, when you do look at yourself,
Yep.
At this point in time, the organization has regressed. Didn't get to the postseason this year.
Yep.
When you look at changes you could make, does that involve potentially more aggressive decision-making in free agency and the trade deadline?
All right, shout out to John Macron coming off with the heat. Shout out to Will with the super chat as well. Says if Brad gets rid of Davenport, then we can lay. If Brad gets rid of Davenport, then we can lay off his head. He need to let him do things. We need to let him do things off season. This was the press conference. Time to get talent. I appreciate you, bro.
That's hard to say without being faced with the dynamics of who the players are. It's a lot that goes into those decisions. I guess what I say about that is, we work very hard in terms of, well, I guess I'll back up.
All right, so I'm going to tell you early on, I see a difference. This guy is not the same guy he's been. This is not the same. This is not the guy he was in August. It ain't the guy he was screaming on the elevator. It ain't the guy he was with the positional value hoodie. He's not that guy. This is a guy, to me, in my opinion, that feels some heat. I just, based off all the things I've watched of Brad Holmes, this is a guy, he is not walking around with the same smug, confident responses that he had. Now, it's early on. There could be some changes. But that's what I see already. That the cheeks is warming. That's period.
I understand if you don't see a certain amount of, let's call it transactional activity, and that's all you don't see. You don't see the result. You don't see another player added. You don't see the trade. You don't see the big splash signing. But our work ethic has always been high, and a lot of times, really all the time, is you have to put so much work into making sure that you don't make a mistake. Really, the easier thing.
All right. So come on, dog. You know what? You have to put so much work. Davenport was a mistake from the very beginning. I'm starting to wonder, does this guy even know what he's doing? Fully. You know what I'm saying? What do you mean you had to put so you put time, and the mistake that you made was Marcus Davenport. You put time, and you made a mistake of trading up for Broderick Martin. You put time into that, and you don't make a mistake, and you made two of them. I mean, come on, dog. What are we doing? We are trusting you to make this team better and take us all the way. And you put so much time into not making a mistake, and then you make a really, really, really big one. Two of them. So I'm like, which one is it? Do you know what you're doing, or do you not? I don't know. Pedestrian. That's the word I'm going to start describing him with.
To do is to see a name of interest that you've heard of, you think he's been a good football player, and then you just make the call, make the move. And then you just didn't really put in all the time and efforts to find out, well, why this player is even available, or why is this player not being signed back? So it's a lot of work that goes into. So that's not going to change. But I don't want to sit here and say,
look, hold on. Let me let him complete his
that just more activity is gonna be the answer. Honestly, a lot of the things that we'll look at, and a lot of the changes and tweaks and adjustments that we will make probably won't come with a headline.
Okay. All right. Okay. So if Max Crosby is available, right? Why is he available? Probably because the Raiders suck. And they want to get better. And they need first-round picks to do that. So you mean to tell me that you weren't asking a question when Davenport was available? Come on, dog.
But that's not to say that we won't do something that's in that splash category.
Yo, we've been hearing this for 5 seasons. We've been hearing this for 5 seasons, bro. The same thing. It's not about the name. It's not about the splash. Doesn't mean we won't make a splash, and you ain't done nothing. And we got the same results. It doesn't mean you are capping, bro. Look, listen. The bottom line is this. No matter what he says today, what he does means everything. And that's why I said, if Marcus Davenport is re-signed, fire him immediately. I would change the lock to his office. You need to move the needle, Brad. I don't hear needle moving here. We ain't just one piece away anymore. You blew that. You was too busy yelling in the elevator. Because you beat the Super Bowl champions by 1 point. When you could have beat them in the biggest game of the year. But you traded for Donovan Peoples-Jones and drafted Broderick Martin, bro. Look. When this done, if he don't make no moves, bro, he got to go. That's it. If he sit there and it's got, and see, here's the thing too. You blew your opportunity. 2023, 2024 was the year to get edge rushers. Andrew Van Ginkel, Jonathan Grenard. You could have got somebody. Now, if somebody's available, why is Khalil Mack available? Probably because he's over 30. Do you want to pay Akhdin Muhammad? Come on, dog. So now you're trying to use all these words, this word kung fu. Well, why is the player available? Why? Why did you trade up for Broderick Martin? Why did you trade up? Why is he not on the team anymore, bro? Look. I'm starting not to believe anything from this guy. Nothing at all. You better be glad you hit. Aiden fell into your lap. You killed the first draft. You know why? Because you were a director of scouting. That's what you had time to do. So you aced it. And you ain't really been the same since 2023. I will say this. I hear it in his voice. This ain't bubbles and rainbows and everything's going to be okay. I can assure you of that. You don't walk up there, ha, ha, ha. He don't even have the same swag he had. He feeling the pressure, bro. That's facts.
But I don't think it's it's not indicative of a lack of effort, work ethic. Look, I think one of y'all called me at the trade deadline and asked me, did you talk to anybody? And I just kind of, I wasn't offended, but I think my response was, well, why are you asking me now? Because it's a NFL calendar item with a title on it. You didn't ask me about if I talked to anybody early November or October or September or August or in June or in May.
I know somebody who would have. Asked you those things. He's sitting right here. He's sitting right here. Whoever that is. Brad Holmes, give me your number, bro. I will text you. I will call you anytime, day or night. And I will ask you the questions I have. Come on, man. What is it?
The roster building thing and engaging in talks with teams, that's year round, but I totally understand that that's not public information, and you can only just go off of what's out there, but there's a lot of work. So the work ethic's not going to change, but we'll still be looking at everything.
Right, given some of the health stuff that Frank was dealing with at the end of his kind of career there, do you wish there was anything you would have done differently to prepare for his departure?
Yeah, well, look, a player of Frank's caliber, look, you haven't seen a Frank Ragnow since Frank Ragnow, so never would have thought that you could just immediately just replace him and just hit the ground running. I think we did the best we could with everything that we were trying to do from a roster standpoint. But, look, the offensive line in general as a whole, it hasn't been ignored in terms of, I know we've, drafted in 21 and then 22 we didn't, but 23 we went late, 20, but you'd be surprised about the moves that we tried to do that we could not get done that involved offensive linemen, whether that be draft or free agency. But no, it hadn't been ignored. We tried to do the best we can. I was excited about the youth injection that we did go with. I think it was necessary. But I believe I mentioned after we acquired those players that, there's going to have to be some patience. There's going to be some things that those young guys hadn't seen before. I do think that those young players will get better. But just the offensive line as a whole, whether it's the interiors or the tackle, that's something that's going to continuously, we're going to have to be urgent in terms of adding to.
All right, so I will say this. Brad knows that he's under pressure. He knows that it is urgency, accountability. He knows that don't let any of the beat writers fool you. This guy knows. I don't know if there's a conversation. Look, a lot of us like non-credential basement guys, we have nobody controlling us, so we can kind of say what we think. Sometimes we're way off. Sometimes we're spot on. We don't have any restrictions holding us, telling us what we cannot say. Brad Holmes feels something. I don't know if it's from Sheila or if it's a nudge. All that body language stuff that we was talking about in a celebration for the last game of the season, that was 100% correct. Because he came with that same body language. If you even notice his posture, bro, right now, early on, we only 8 minutes in, he has not been defensive much of at all this time because he knows that he is on the clock and not in a good way.
I stand about this on Monday, just with Decker kind of openly contemplating his future. What lessons did you learn from last offseason with Frank going into this one with Decker being kind of upfront about it?
Lessons in terms of just him contemplating.
Yeah, just
retirement?
like a potential hole there that.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, if it happens again, like I was saying, it's never been ignored. It's like, it's going to come at some point. As good of, let's call it more veteran offensive line that we've had in the past that has been comprised of a lot of good players. At one point, 4 first-round picks at one point. It's never been ignored, but, you just can't reach and just make a move just to make a move.
With the 96th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select. Come on, dog. So a lot of contradictory things here. You cannot reach. So he said it hasn't been ignored with Manu and Sorsdal and all that, and you can't replace a Frank 100%. You can try, but you can't. You're not gonna be able to do it. Shout out to the Super Chat Single Dads Club says, look back on last year's draft and excitement of Brad Holmes compared to the draft previous to that. That was telling for me. See, this is the stuff that confuses me. You talk about you tried to do this and you can't reach with this when you had the biggest whiff of in like recent draft probably history, bro. Lions history at least. I cannot. I need to know that you truly understand that. Because you talk about you can't reach. You can't reach for things that you need. You can't reach for things that you need, right? You reached for a guy you didn't even need at the time. You didn't even need him. Nobody knew who he was, and you reached for him. This is so. That's the stuff I'm like, yo, do he really know fully what he's doing? Maybe he's not the guy to take us all the way. He got us to where maybe he's reached his precipice as a general manager. That is a real conversation. And I'm gonna tell you what, this is it for me. 2026 is it. He only get one more year after that. If he sit on his hands, he do the same thing, and we fall short of a Super Bowl, that is it for me. 6 years is enough. That's it. Because whenever he mentions the word reach for a position that we need, I always go back to Broderick. There is no reason we should have done that. At least you could have got Kobe Turner. This would be a different conversation. He would still be on this team. But you don't reach for stuff that we need, but you reach for stuff that we don't. Come on, dog. Brad, you testing me, bro.
You can reach for a tackle or just make a move for a tackle, and that player is just not as good enough of a replacement. But no, that's definitely, I'm not sure what Frank is going to, what Decker's going to decide to do, but, that's not only will it have to be urgent this offseason, but it's been urgent in the past. Look, we drafted, 2 years ago, we drafted Manu as more of a developmental guy, thinking that, he's going to have some years to take some steps forward. But it would be irresponsible for us to just go into it thinking that, we drafted a developmental player a couple of years ago. He's going to be the guy. And I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think that we've ever kind of gone into an offseason with a question mark or a hole, and we didn't attack that position with
Yo! Shout out to Big Black. He reached for Tesla and Sunivaki. What are you talking about? See, you know what? This might be it for Brad. This might be it. What are you talking about? Everyone saw the hole. Everybody, why do you think teams said you're not going to the playoffs in 2025? Because the holes never got filled. So you mean to tell me that you went into 2023 and 4 and 5 and you didn't think there was a hole on the team? Bro, Brad is, it doesn't matter what he says. Actually, the more he says, the dumber he looks. The more he says, the dumber he looks, bro. He does. The more he says, the dumber he looks. The more exposed that he's becoming. Remember, I told y'all pedestrian, bro. Brad Holmes is pedestrian at best. He pedestrian who hit on a few picks, bro. What you talking about? Everybody saw some hoes. Everybody saw the hoes. Except you. Maybe that's the problem. You ain't see the hoes. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? If you see the hoes, then, you know, maybe you take notice. That's all I'm saying.
See, but sometimes
I meant hoes as well. You know, the circles in the ground and the circle. That's what I was talking about.
Doesn't work out as well as we want to.
First offseason, did you learn that Frank was retiring?
Oh, I heard two Franks, so go ahead.
I'm just wondering, at what point in the offseason did you learn that Frank was retiring?
It was after the draft. That was when he officially told us that, you know, like, I'm not going to do it. I can't remember. It may have been some point in late May or something like that, but that's when he gave us the final stop. Now, not saying that the thoughts weren't swirling, you know, it's not saying that there was no breadcrumbs or anything like that, but and even with breadcrumbs of it, you know, but not knowing exactly what he was going to do, you know, again, it was something that we knew that we needed to prepare for because we didn't know which way it was going to tip.
Shout out to Charles with the super chat says, wait till they bring up Sheila. I say, oh my God. Ooh, I can't wait.
Have you guys maintained contact with Frank since the failed physical, and is there any chance that he gets healthy and attempts another comeback for next season?
No, you know, after that whole thing, you know, we just kind of went our separate ways. I'm sure a lot of the guys still, you know, keep contact with him, but no, just nothing in concrete about, you know, seeing if he wants to give it a go again.
Brad, as you've been in every process with you and Dan Campbell, obviously one of the first moves you guys made was parting ways with John Ward. I guess just like, are you guys operating at a timeline, or just how is that? Why did you guys feel like the timing was to do that right away? And is it in the timeline you guys looking at maybe trying to?
Can you repeat that one more time?
With John Ward and parting ways with him. I know how collaborative you and Dan have been in a lot of decisions, just as far as this decision, like just how important is it to get the right person in, and just that decision to make that move, you know, right after the season and let him go as well. Any insight on that at all? Yeah, no, look, there's in this business, in these chairs, you know, you have to make some really tough decisions. And Johnny did a lot of good things with us this time around, the first time around for us. So appreciate all of his efforts and everything that he put into it. But look, you just have to. There's a time where you just have to just make a decision, especially when candidates, you know, are becoming.
Especially when your job is on the line. And wait, what are you about to say? Wait, what?
In mind or anything. There's a time where you just have to just make a decision, especially when candidates, you know, are becoming available. You have to just make the tough decision to move forward and move on. So all
right, so I'm gonna say this. Lions want Mike McDaniel. That's who they want. They're gonna try everything in their power to get him. Brad doesn't come out, so you release Johnny Morton, which is why he was fired on Monday. He was fired Monday, Tuesday, whatever day it was. He was fired because they becoming available. Now they didn't know about him. He at this today, but during this, McDaniel was already fired. So I am certain that that's the guy that they want.
We didn't have like a predetermined date in mind or anything like that. It's just, you know, just kind of after some discussions, you know, just felt that, you know, it's time to just move on and start fresh.
What is the organization looking for in his replacement? Like, what are the priorities?
Yo,
for-
Dave Burkett is cold. Dave Burkett is cold, man. He just said, I am the captain. He cold.
that replacement? What are you looking for?
I mean, it's a lot, but I mean, there has to be leadership. There has to be detail oriented. It's got to be command of the room. You just have to be able to know that there's somebody that's going to be able to dot every I, cross every T, and make sure that nothing is compromised from a detail standpoint, from a standard standpoint, from the start of the game planning period all the way till the end of the week. And so we're just looking for that type of person, whether the person has previous experience calling plays or not. I've been around previous coaches that have not done it and did it, and had a lot of success with it. So I do think a lot of it is just you just got to just get in front of them, hear them out, spend some time with them, and kind of hear their ideas, hear their philosophy, do a lot of vetting, as much vetting as you can, and just make the decision. But I think when you go through the process of getting in front of them, when you know, you know.
All right, first of all, that's cap. That's cap. No, you ain't nobody got time for that. You don't got time for that. You don't got time to be. You don't got the time. You got 2 years left. This ain't year 2. This is 2 years left. You don't got time to be some guys that they never coached before, but they work. No, man, you don't got time for that. He might be here and you won't. Shout out to C Pool he says breadcrumbs. We all knew Ragnar's toe wouldn't heal in February 24. That's fact. Shout out to you with the super chat. And I think we have another one as well. Devlin's, thank you, says it's Dan's team now, Derek. Holmes sounds like a bumbling kid there who just got into trouble because he finally did. I've been on his head since day one. I've been on his head. I was the first one. And yes, I will make this all about me. I was the first one. This is not, don't worry about this. I was the first one. I was talking about him before it was cool, before it was accepted. This guy got some work to do, bro, period. And you can see it, everything. He don't have the same swag he had before. Shout out to Dana, appreciate you. Says, with the super chat, says, Derek, this whole thing will give you a panic attack. Only good thing is that the fans were eating him alive in the comments, and he sounds scared, still stubborn. You know what, Dana? First of all, thank you for the super chat. 2, you're right. But here's the best part that will come out of this, is Brad is out of time. So he doesn't have time. He does not seem like he got a shining endorsement from Sheila. And you said, wait till Sheila come up. I cannot wait. So it's now I'm hearing things that are like kind of imploding. It's kind of like, well, what are you talking about, bro? How if I knew that Marcus Davenport was a mistake and he didn't, that is a problem. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So anyway.
The organization, though, this time.
Absolutely. We're looking at everything.
Brad, as you do your self-analysis.
I do believe this. There's a lot to this, I believe. This man here, he looks like he's under pressure. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know how much I believe it as far as that he's going to fill it through. But if this would have happened in 2023, if we got this Brad, I think we would have a different team. This man here knows that he's running out of time.
And you mentioned evolving. You guys are at a stage now. Do you think maybe you need to act not as cautiously in player acquisition and free agency, trade deadline, or whatever? Is it you at the point after a season like this that you have to be more aggressive in certain areas?
Yeah, I don't know. So you're saying just define aggressive.
See. So this is. It never fails. It never fails. Every time I give somebody some credit, they got to stick it in my mouth. Every time. Define aggressive. It's self-explanatory, Brad. It's self-explanatory. Give the people what they want. Let them know you tried to go get this guy and it didn't work out. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh my God. Define aggressive. Do you want the actual? I would have been like, you want the actual definition? Because I can look it up on my phone, Melvin. I would have given him the actual definition. As a matter of fact, let's find out. Let's take a moment. let's take a moment and let's Google the definition of aggression, shall we? Definition of aggressive. All right, so he wants define aggressive. Okay, the definition for aggressive is ready or likely to attack or confront, characterize or resulting from aggression. Okay, attack. We don't attack in free agency. We sit there and do nothing. He getting on my nerve, bro. He getting on my nerve. Shout out to Lions fan with the super chat. 19 says, I feel like when he said command the room could be meaning that John Morton did not have the locker room on his side. And I feel like if we do get Mike McDaniel, he needs to change the way he represents himself. You know what, Lions fan? That's what I was saying this earlier today about, the hip, the hop, the hip, the hop. You got to have, you know what I'm saying? That might not work here. That might, and that's what I was saying about them staying away from him. Why I could see it happening. But come on, dog. Define aggressive. You know exactly what we're talking about. Did you try to get this guy? This guy. Did you try to get this guy? Look, y'all need some fans up in here, bro. They couldn't answer none of our questions. These are cookie cutter. Define aggressive. What do you mean? You know exactly what we're talking about, bro. You going to try to trade for Myles Garrett? You going to try to trade for Max Crosby? Did you try to get a game changer, a needle mover? Or are you fine with Davenport? My question, Brad, here, Derek with Lions Syndicate here, I've got a question. The people want to know, why did you re-sign Marcus Davenport? Did you really think that, Brad, Derek with Lions Syndicate here, Derek, the people want to know, why do you continue to sign injury-prone players? Brad, they would skip me. Derek with Lions Syndicate, yes, again, I'm asking you again. Why do you insist on re-signing players that were out for the season this year? Brad, your thoughts, please. The mic would always be in his face. I'd be like, Brad. Derek with Lions Syndicate. They'd be like, this guy. They would hate to see me coming. I would only ask questions the fans wanted answers to. Define aggressive. You know good and well what we're talking about. What was the most aggressive move that we've made as Detroit Lions since Brad and Dan? Trading away Matthew Stafford. That is it. That's it. What is his response going to be? I need to hurry up, too, because I want to be off by college football so everybody can watch the game. So I'm going to try to get through this.
When there's a need, don't just necessarily plug with the same guy that was there before, or maybe more aggressive trading up in the draft or trading or free agent signing. When the needs that are there before the season began are still there, and believe me, that doesn't happen.
Dog, get the question out. What are you doing? Answer the question. Ask the question. And don't get me wrong, Brad. I mean, I know you tried to do it. Just ask the question.
This was the first year, quote unquote, failure. But this year, the needs didn't get fixed over the course of a year. Could you have been more proactive?
Well, I don't think it was a lack of effort. In terms of being aggressive, again, like I was saying earlier, I may have been telling John that, like, there's so many things that we try to do that just can't do. Like you mentioned the draft. I think I may have said it after the draft, this past draft, that, you might see just the 1 or 2 or 3 actual draft trades that they're on record, they were consummated, they were done. But the attempts and the things that we tried to do, that's not public information. So just because you're trying to be aggressive and you're trying to trade way up, that doesn't mean that team wants to trade way back, like how we've been picking in the past. We're picking a little bit higher this year. That you don't want to be in that position. But it's the same thing with the free agency standpoint, or trades. You can call about a player, but he's probably a really good player that team doesn't want to part ways with. So that doesn't mean that you're going to get him. So that's why I'm not trying to not answer your question, but I don't think that we've not try to be aggressive or just being aggressive just to say we're going to be aggressive. Usually when those kind of moves happen, usually there is a deficiency that's clear, and that team needs to act on that. And when we've had deficiencies, we've tried to act on things. Some of them just didn't come together, but we didn't want to, settle or reach, if we try to do the...
There's that word again. There's that word again. See, oh my God, bro. See, here's the thing, okay? Money talks. Money talks. If you tried to tell me that the Lions at 9-8, hottest team coming out of the NFL or going into the offseason, 9-8, everybody wants to sign here, there's no doubt, that you couldn't get anybody to come here. You couldn't get free agency. You mean to tell me that the best you could do was Marcus Davenport? That's what you're trying to tell me. The best you could do was Emmanuel Mosley. That's what you're trying to tell me. Why would I believe that? Why would I believe that? So you tried to get all of these guys, but it doesn't show up because that's not public information. Okay, Brad, well then make it public information. How about you say, hey, I tried to get this dude. I tried to get this guy. Why don't you leak the information? Why don't you tell somebody and get it out there? The fan base wants my head on the platter. Why don't you leak the information that we tried? See, Brad Holmes right now is in the Brad who cried wolf territory. That's where he is. Nothing you say, nothing he says, you'll believe. You try. Now you out of time, bro. You got 2 years left. And I still ain't got to Sheila. I swear, man, I'm going to try to get this off in 2 hours. But I hear a nobody, Van Ginkel, Grenard, no one wanted to come here. Like you try to get everybody, and every last person shot you down. I don't believe that.
The big trade or the big thing and it doesn't come about, then we're not just going to say, well, it's just another player that we're kind of warm on that we can get. I'm not sure how much he's going to help anymore, but it'll look like we're doing something.
What? So okay. Brad, Derek with Lions Syndicate here. Kind of warm on a player. So that means if you were warm, that means you were hot on Marcus Davenport, right? Your answer, please. The fans want to know. So kind of warm on a player? So warm on a player. We're warm on a player, which means if a player winds up on this team, you were hot on them, but you were warm on this player. Come on, dog. And you were hot on Marcus Davenport. I'm done. That's the stream. That's it. I'm done. I can't. This guy. Look at what he's doing. Now he gesturing. Now he gesturing. Well, if you were warm on this guy and hot on this guy, and yeah. It's the same thing all the time, bro. You were warm on this guy. Well, you know, we don't really need that guy. We're just warm on him. But you know what? Go get broke down Marcus Davenport. We're hot on him. He has everything. He's cheap. He got the intangibles. You said in your introductory press conference you had to like playing football, that you needed to be a football player. You need to show your love of the game. And Marcus Davenport was like, I don't even know where I am. Is this where am I? Is this Allen Park? Am I supposed to be out there, coach? I don't even know. And this is the guy you were hot on? Dog. All right, Brad. All right, hey, you on the clock. You on the clock, Bradley.
Do it. I don't think that's responsible either. But you know, it just takes two to. It takes two, but it's not a lack of action being taken on.
Have you seen anybody that you? Okay, Brad, Derek with Lions Syndicate here. Derek. You had Zadarius Smith under contract, right? Okay, yeah. You decided to cut him. Why did you do that, Brad? Your answer, please. The people want to know. The people. You know what I would be like? I would be like, what's the dude, man? What is the guy who in the 80s, the 90s, it was like Robert Morton Downey. Is it Morton Downey? The dude with the lips for the talk show? I would be like him. I would be like Gerardo, bro, where people wanted to punch me in the nose. Brad, why did you cut Zadarius Smith? What was the reason for that? Okay, let me add this. You cut Zadarius Smith in favor of Marcus Davenport. Why did you? Because you thought that it would always be this. Word salad, bro.
Our part.
Hey, Brian. The offensive line, center position going forward. You said it's not easy to find another Frank Ragnow. I think we can all respect that. But, how do you view that position going forward, whether it's, maybe taking another look at Ratledge? Is that a place where you really want a rookie? Do you need a veteran to kind of compete there? And then with Manu, I know you said you can't bank on him, but, you've had 2 years to kind of evaluate what you got to start to look at. How ready do you feel he is to at least compete for that job if Decker steps aside?
Yeah, look, I think all those are fair questions. Look, a lot of I'm not trying to dodge your questions, but we don't have all the answers right now. And I have full confidence to say that we don't have all the answers right now. And actually, if we did have all the answers right now, you should actually be concerned because we have not taken the necessary time to do the necessarily deep dive analysis into our roster, our operations, everything from top to bottom, like we are going to do. Again, there's some infancy stages things that we've already started to look at that, we'll just keep to ourselves. But obviously, Tate is obviously an option for sure. And, he's done it before. He did in OTAs. Didn't think that he was a fish out of water. So, and then all the reps that he's logged this year, just all the rookie snaps, he may have played the most snaps out of any rookie offensive lineman this year. So whether he continues at guard or center, but we know that he's an option. But, yeah, we're definitely going to have to continue to look for one, whether it be free agency or the draft or a trade.
And just Manu, do you feel like...
Yeah, Manu, look, he's taken steps. I'm not going to sit here and say that we feel convicted that he's ready to be a major contributor. We hope that he is. We're just going to have to see how he comes back in terms of when we get started in the offseason program, how he comes back in OTAs. And look, he's going to have to, he's as always, he's going to have to win a job. He's going to have to beat somebody out. And so as much as we're going to surround the resources around him, he's going to have to do his part too, to make sure that he's doing everything necessary to be as good of a football player that he can be.
Hey, Brad, Dan Campbell on Monday graded himself a freaking F. How would you grade yourself?
Oh, I mean, whatever's a failure. I mean, yeah, I guess F. I mean, that's fair. I mean, I'm not trying to copy what he said, but it was either good enough or not good enough, and it's not good enough. So, if it's either pass and we're still playing right now and still competing for a championship, or not. And if we're not, then fail. So that's where I put it. But I'm not going to get into the D- and all,
What would have been the biggest failure in your mind for this season?
What would have been the biggest failure?
What failed the most, I guess, from your point of view?
Oh, just that we weren't able to play. I mean, right now, where we're at right now, I'm here talking to you guys, not saying that I don't like talking to you guys, but you guys know what I'm saying. It's over, and football's still being played. So that is the biggest failure. And that's what it's going to be for our standards. Look, in 2021, when we first were starting out and trying to lay the foundation, us not being in the postseason, but we made some strides towards the end, provided a little bit of hope, a little bit of optimism. But for where we're at now, oh, absolutely. Biggest failure.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to tell you something. In a way, I believe him. I believe it might be a little too late, though. There's a lot of reasons why I do believe that he believes some stuff that he's saying. Part of me believes him. I want to believe him, but it's hard to believe him because now you're doing it because you have to. He said, if it was a pass and we're still playing, or what do you mean it was? No, it was a pass if you won a Super Bowl. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I want everybody to keep this in mind, okay? when I talk about what I talk about, and I talk about what is good enough for me, it is a Super Bowl. That's it. Who cares? This is the man that is the greatest general manager that you've ever seen. He said, I don't have the answers right now, blah, 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 yada, yada. He's the greatest general. He has done some good things in Detroit. Fantastic. He gets all the accolades in the world for that. Jared Goff, you hate the man. He gave you your first NFC North title. He will be the quarterback when that happens. Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes will be the general manager and coach for when that happened. Okay? That is great. I love it. I accept it. It felt amazing. We're not done. It only took us 22 years to do that. We're not done. Okay, so this all, stroking the head. Oh, it's okay. You're like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget. You know what I'm saying? You got the little kitty sitting on the table, and you, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, but I got you to the NFC Championship game, right? You didn't win, but I got you there. We have to stop with that. Brad, you failed if you didn't get to a Super Bowl. That's number one. Then you failed again if you didn't win one. That's it. There is no in between, ladies and gentlemen. You win it all, or we've already done that. That time is over. And the NFL changes so quickly, you have to make quick decisions. So I hear a different Brad Holmes. Will we see a different Brad Holmes? Maybe. Is it too late? Probably. It's probably too late. And only thing you need to know is what Sheila does. And I'm like excited about Sheila, bro. I don't know what timestamp it is, but I cannot wait to get there.
Back to your comments off the top, said you're always going to look inward, and you've started to identify some things already that you can do better. Can you share a few that have come to mind?
I'll keep those to myself, just from a competitive strategic advantage. But trust me, it's being looked at. I don't know what y'all believe or think about, but I've always been big on self-assessment. If something is not working, okay, what could you have done better to make it work? Or if something didn't work, then you got to look back and, really take a long, hard look at, okay, like, how did I mess this up? Or what could I have done better in this?
Yo, he is capping, bro. Oh, my God. I was right. He is capping. What are you talking about? In 5 years, we have never... When was the last time? What? Okay. I am convinced now. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. I'm going to tell you what happened. He got showed up by Coach. Coach got up there. He always crying. It's always emotional. He always... Man, I gave myself a freaking F, man. A freaking F, man. And Brad's sitting there like, oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Let me write this freaking F, man. I got to get freaking F. I can't gnaw, dog. So what did I say? If he got up here and he was like, man, yeah, we do, and he didn't take some type of humility, he was going to look opposite Dan Campbell. And then it would be glaring. You always talk about self-assessment. You are capping, bro. I cannot. It's free agency tomorrow. I cannot wait to free agency. Ain't nobody heard you say that.
Or could I made a kind of different decision that it's a lot of different things, but I'm always going to start with myself first. It's after every single loss, that's the first thing that I'm looking. I'm not looking at, oh, this happened, this ball didn't bounce this way, this, that, and I'm like, man, are these players, like, are they performing well enough? And if they're not, then that falls on me.
He making me mad, bro. He's making me mad. Now you want to take accountability in year 6. Now you want to take accountability, bro. Now you want to look at yourself. Now you want to look at yourself. When basement general manager Derek with Lions Syndicate and everybody else and 9 out of 10 YouTube creators, there was a couple that was like, Mergers never put pass rush by committee. Right? Like some guys that like to wear their hat backwards like they hip hop. Anyway, now you want to say, I was saying, the Mergers Davenport should have never been a Detroit Lion. Show me, Brad. I want to see it. I want to see. I want to hear and see as well. Show me. Go get somebody. Be aggressive. Do you need the definition? If so, I will give it to you. You know what? Aggressive. Wear that shirt. Right? Wear that shirt. Go out and make some moves. Now you want to take it falls on me and all that. Of course it does. You think? It's in year 6. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I only got 2 more years. Wait a minute. I blinked my eye and I got 2 years left on my deal. Whoa, whoa. And we missed the playoffs heading into year 6. Something's got to change. Come on, dog. We've been waiting 5 years for this Bradley Mathias, and now you want to come out and say something? And it just so happened that Dan Campbell did it first. He is spitting word. He literally said, I don't want you to think I'm copying coach. But you are, though. You are, bro. And we're going to see just how much you meant what you said. This guy. Marcus, could you imagine him signing? Hey, this is Brad Holmes with Detroit Lions. You coming off an injury? Okay, when did you get hurt? Week 1? Hey, yep. Hey, you want to be a Detroit Lion? Everybody. He probably got a sheet in his office. If you on season-ending injury, sign him. You know what, Brad? Go get Fred Warner then. Fred Warner, make it happen. Go get a dog that's on. I mean, come on, dog. You know what? This is what I was waiting for. I was waiting to hear him because now he's sticking his foot all the way in his mouth. He's sticking it all. He's choking on his own foot, bro. Because now when the free agency comes, I swear, Levi, Josh, Marcus, you cannot play around.
To get better. So that's how I'm always going to look at it.
Right, but the injuries defensively last year maybe make it a little bit of an outlier in 2024, but just over the last couple of years, the defense has not been playing well at the most critical junctures of the season. What can you do on your end?
The defense been booty butt cheeks, bro. But with the elevated cheeks. So booty butt cheeks. The defense been booty butt cheeks. All caps all the way. What is your response to the defense?
To kind of improve the level of defense that's being played down the stretch?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, look, when you lose some impact players as we...
No. Don't you go there, Brad. Don't you go there. No, duh. Yeah. No, duh.
Did it's you're gonna have some hurdles. Now I do think some guys came in and stepped up, and but a lot of those guys we brought in to be quality depth, and they had to play large roles and be starters. But as far as and I think a lot of the secondary injuries, you could say that equated a little bit to more of the explosive plays in the pass game. But late in the season, some of the run defense stuff, I just think that was just uncharacteristic. We've normally been relatively very good in run defense, and it just was not clicking. It just was not consistent. But again, just like I said at the top, we are going to look at everything. I'm always going to look at players first, but I'm sure me and Dan, we're going to look at players, scheme, the whole thing.
All right. Okay. Look. I truly believe that somebody told him something. Martha, Sheila told him, maybe Sheila did come in on a scooter. This brother, he has never said all of this combined. Somebody said something. Said, I see a big tray. I'm leaving with something. Brad, you want to keep your office, big dog? You want to keep screaming in the elevators? Then you need to do something. All this accountability out of nowhere. Just where did this come from?
Your calculus of just how close or far you guys are from reaching the Super Bowl.
Say that one more time.
Like how did this season change just a big picture view of how close or far you think you are from the
I don't think that we're that far off. I personally don't. We have a lot of good players. We have a lot of good young ascending players. We have a really good quarterback. We have the right coach. I do think that we're very close. And hey, look, maybe that is some of the things that, maybe that's one of the items that needs to be looked back on, is thinking that you are so close. And so then now you start changing some things because you only need this piece.
No,
you only need that piece.
No. Ain't no way. No. See, Brad, look. All right. I need to let him finish. See, when he start getting real animated, that's when you know he being condescending. When he start getting super animated, bro, don't you do this. Don't you do this. Because we were one piece away in 2023, and we was about 2 pieces away in 2024, and we had a bunch of injury, but don't you do this. Don't you talk about us being 1 piece away. And no. You capitalize on the opportunity you have. Because if Myles Garrett, I'm telling you right now, if Howie Roseman could get his fingers in Myles Garrett, he would. If he could get him in through the hairline and through the hair, he would bring him. See, this is the face of condescending. You know what he looks like? You ever played the game Punch Out? When you punch the dude, ball bull, and boom, you punch him, and he looks like ball bull right now. See, when he starts doing the and all of this, that's when he started to get condescending. We were 1 player away, Bradley, but you didn't think we were, so what did you do? Donovan Peoples-Jones, that's what you did. Come on, dog. Right now, the people seem to know more than you do. My fuse is short with this guy. Look, I believe that he knows he's got to succeed. But my fuse is I'm out of time, bro. You get it right or you are not the guy. This is it. 2026 is it for me. I'm done. Brad Holmes needs to get us to a Super Bowl or at least show he won. But it might be too little too late. Maybe he can go somewhere else, be a general manager. He has run out of time for me. He has to ace free agency and the draft. You're not 1 player. Didn't you just have the 1 player away conversation? He hates it.
And you got to feel, and it's like, no, like, who's the best player to fit for what we're trying to do that has gotten us to have the expectations that we have as a football team right now. So, again, we'll be looking at everything, but I do not think that this is a deep surgery overhaul. Like, I don't think that. But obviously there needs to be some adjustments made for sure.
Right.
I wish I could go to sleep and wake up for free agency. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Marcus, the only time immediate fireable offense is Marcus Davenport. Fire him immediately. They can both take the same train out of town.
You've been taking care of a lot of your own. Obviously, y'all got nearly $1 billion committed and guys you brought in. I know that's got to be something that you're proud of, is just signing your guys. You got a couple more guys eligible for extensions. You got Sam Laporta and Gibbs coming up. How big is that a priority to get those guys taken care of as well?
It is a priority because they're really good players. And we, when me and Dan first started, we said we're going to take the path of draft, develop, and sign our own. And I do think that has worked so far in terms of getting us to this point. Those guys are priorities because they're really good players. They're really good players. They're great in the locker room. They represent everything that we're about. So I would say that those are all priorities. We'll just we don't have a decision on timeline yet, but yeah, definitely both priorities.
On that, you used that no vacations sort of analogy last year, right? Paying some of your own guys who couldn't take the big vacations in the offseason.
Yeah.
With Sam and Brian, since the injuries happened, how does that maybe change that? Could that free up more money, more cash flow to use early in the offseason if you can push those deals off to later when they get healthy?
Yeah, that's fair to ask, Dave. I do think that the priorities for those players have not changed, but obviously, more medical information has to be gathered. But we know who they are. We know what kind of players they are. But in terms of them suffering some season-ending injuries and the decisions that we got to make off of that, there's just a lot more information that we're going to need to get, which we will get. That's not going to be forgotten about. So it's a little bit too early to say that because of those injuries happen, that's freed up to get other guys.
Could you reallocate some of that to, not that you wouldn't spend it, but if you spend it in the fall instead of in the spring, could you use that on free agents to maybe take a vacation and address one of those areas that you think you need?
Yeah, but there's other players that are not injured that are eligible as well. So, and then you have just this normal free agency. So, you know, the money's the money. You know, whether you want to spend it, you know, in April or if you want to spend it in August, you know, that's just what you have, especially when it comes. But now there's things that we're still awaiting on too. Like, let's see how much this cap number grows or adjusts and all that kind of stuff. So it's just a lot of information that we're still waiting on to see to make those decisions.
All right, that's fair. Brian Branch, Sam Laporta, super fair. Got no problem with that at all. But the whole, you know, spending money thing, Brad, you really haven't done it outside of a few people unless you drafted them. So no matter what we finish with, guys, I want to see him. I want to see what he's going to do. That's what I want to see. And again, the man that you are looking at, this is a guy who knows he's under pressure. I cannot wait for the Martha part. If I stopping it, then maybe we can get there.
A big question on the philosophical. This is kind of big philosophical, but this whole thing's been built on, you know, grit and guys with chips on their shoulder. And you.
I like the start. I like where this question is starting. Do I like the whole answer, the whole question? Let me see.
Managed to have a lot of continuity on this roster and built a foundation. You keep reinvesting the guys. Is it hard to be able to still tap into the gritty mentality?
Nope. Justin Rogers, he flamed out. He started off strong and then took the, hey man, I don't want my credentials revoked. Yeah, he flamed out. That is crazy, bro. Shout out to Dave Burkett. In my order of tough questions, Dave Burkett takes number 1. John Macarone, number 2. Bob Wojo asked some decent questions. Everybody else, find a rock, kick it with no shoes on. That is crazy. We need somebody that's why I told y'all, man, like Lions Syndicate is all about the fan. That's why I myself don't push Omaha Steaks. I'm just saying. I'm all about the fan base. I will do what y'all want me to do. So if I get in there, I'll be like, yo, what questions would you want me to ask Brad Holmes? And they real soft. They real Pillsbury dough. It's like they start with some fire and then they flame out. Why did you resign? Did you really think Marcus Davenport was the guy? That is a direct, and then if he starts saying stuff like, yeah, well, you know, I'm not going to get into that right now. Then, hey, look, I did my job. So I want to shout those 3 guys out in that order. But the softness that's why regular fans will never get up in there. Because we want to know what the fan, we don't care about, what is this? These little cookie cutter questions, bro.
When you have that level of continuity and stability?
You mean like in terms of when you get as many of them as we have, that do they
feel like that's?
You say that are they losing it? Is that what you're asking?
From a franchise-wide perspective, yeah. Have you lost a little bit of that edge that kind of helped you get to this point?
Oh, yeah. I think that's a fair question. No, like, look, those guys have gotten to this point because they are really gritty players. I think it's more discipline on our part to make sure that we're adding that and that we don't get complacent or we don't kind of say, oh, well, we have all these, you know, these stars that we've rewarded, and they're really good players. They earn their rewards because they are gritty players and that they are fits and that they have performed at a high level. But we have to, that's part of just staying disciplined in our approach. And so that's something else that, you know, definitely going to, you know, make sure that we got to take a look at and make sure that we're staying disciplined, because in human nature, you can, you know, I think you can lose sight of it if you're not careful. So, but that's definitely something that, you know, I know is on the top of my mind, is just that we have to keep injecting that type of player because that's how we got to this point.
All right, so I'm going to say this too. If the Lions hire Mike McDaniel, then they're serious about winning. Dan is. Brad, I don't know yet. What I do know is this is a man defeated. This is a man who knows that he got to succeed. Look at that face. I wish I could blow this up. I've seen no smiles at all today so far. is a man who know he got to win.
And Tim over here, and we'll come back to the middle.
Dan talked about on Monday adding more competition, really emphasizing that and the roster. How does that affect the calculus as far as drafting kind of more developmental prospects and taking chances on those guys?
Look, as long as they're made up of the right kind of stuff, that's really, I think that's the main thing that matters. You know, if they have there's a baseline of talent that you have to have for this league, but they have to have the right temperament, the right intangible qualities. They have to have the right football character, regardless if that's a higher floor player, whether that's a developmental player. If someone is going to be highly competitive to add, whether it's a young guy, then players like that, they can add some discomfort. And I think that's necessary from a competition standpoint. So it's not really going to change the calculus in terms of, do we take a guy that's a little bit more developmental? He can be, look, we took a developmental player that is about as high motored as it can get. And, you know, he can frustrate a lot of players in practice because of that. And I think that's a good thing. So, but we just got to make sure that they're made up of the right stuff. I have my antennas peaked up that we don't go the opposite, you know, and start looking for, you know, this more talented.
Nope. You fired, bro. You are fired. You are fired. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what you've been waiting on. He is fired. You're fired. I'm like the dude from RoboCop. Dick, you're fired. You still doing it, bro. You still doing it. Hey, Brad, it's been nice. Get your butt out of... we're still not going to do it. Okay, all right. Brad Holmes is fired. He about to get fired. He is going to... if he says like this, the same thing. Same thing. Same thing. Talent is not a thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have talent. It doesn't matter. You drafted Ahmed Hassani, who did not play in the season. What is that saying, bro? You were ready to go in week 6. If he was all that, why is he not playing? I don't understand, bro. I don't understand. Now you got 2 years left. You're not going to... Okay, I'm going to let you finish. Oh, this guy gets on my nerve, bro. Every time I try to give him a little bit. Every time we're not going to... It doesn't matter if you have talent or not. It doesn't matter. As long as you... Grit, intangibles, football player. Doesn't matter. If you suck, it doesn't matter. Bro, that got you to blowing a 17-point lead in the game before the Super Bowl. So here's what I need you to do, Brad. I need you to match talent with grit. If you can find those guys, then bring them here. If not, you're fired. You're fired, bro. The same thing. Shout out to Dana says, told you D, absolutely insanity. We about to re-sign Levi, Marcus, Josh, Emmanuel Mosley, Bruce Irvin, Tyson, me off the couch, you off the couch, your grandmother, your granddaddy, your uncle, your aunt, your cousin that was born yesterday. You mean to tell me you got 90 guys? You got 53. You got Dan Campbell, man. Dan Campbell. And Dan Campbell can't get a young punk in check. He can't get a guy in check. Hey, this is how we run things here, bro. All that stuff, this is how we run stuff here. But you know what? You a dog, though. You a dog. You belong in this team. All this good. You did all that talking about Ahmed Hassanin. He did not play one snap during the regular season. What are you talking about? If it was so great, I'm going to tell you what this was. This man right here was arrogance personified. That's what this was. You thought you had time. Oh, you mad because I'm styling on you. You don't got no time now, bruh. You out of time. Look, I'm starting to feel, I don't care either way. I don't care. You got 2 years left on the deal. I will start to wonder if Sheila extends him. Dan Campbell, I will sign him up in a second because the dude's going to play for him. Look, Brad, I'm just about here. I'm done. I'm just about done, bro. After free agency, come May 1st, I don't know who this guy really is. Shout out to Focus Will with the super chat, says, LOL, bro, you complaining about Brad, but what about Matt Millen? Dog, listen. Appreciate that. This is the best. Thank you, Will. Now I'm going to proceed to clown you. So what? Who cares? Your team has no Super Bowl. That's the thing. The bar is so low for Lions fans. This is the greatest general manager. It doesn't matter. I'm spitting it. It doesn't matter. Your team is still nothing. It doesn't matter. I don't understand this. It's all love, brother, but it doesn't matter. You think that makes me happy? Yay! Yay! Brad Holmes is the best. We almost got there. Let me look. You go to Levi Stadium and you blow a 17-point lead and you tell me, how does it feel? How does it feel, bro? You walking out of Levi Stadium with Niners fans who were dead to rights and they going to the Super Bowl. Who cares, bro? That's the problem with Lions fans. We will take just good enough. Almost. We almost got there. We were this close. That's all we care about. We'll get them next year. We'll sell out stadiums. We'll season ticket wait list. We'll do all of that stuff. What does it matter, bro? Kevin Stefanski was coach of the year 2 years ago, or 2 times in 6 years and was fired. Brian Dable, 2 times or a time fired. I'm telling you, bro, we got to be the most secure, just easy to please fan base in the NFL. Who cares? I don't care. You might be the best, but you ain't great. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he's the best. So what? We sucked. We sucked, bro. So literally anybody can be the best. Listen, Lions fans, that comment is the entire reason that this is fine with us. It's the whole reason. As long as he do just a little bit more. As long as he give us the hope for next season. As long as he almost made it, yeah, we'll get him next year.
That may not have the other stuff, and so that's going to be a focal point that we're going to have going forward.
When we talked to Kirby in December, it was maybe the most dejected I can ever remember a player talking about his injury. Just what's the concern level with the knee, especially coming off, obviously, the contract extension? Is there any worry that you might not be able to play that out?
Yeah, Kirby really wanted to be out there. Kirby, he earned that extension, and I knew how excited he was to. I feel like he's already shown the world what type of player he is, but now that he got the extension, I feel like he really wanted to show the world why he got that extension. And, obviously, he had some things that he had to deal with physically. And what became hard was you're trying to urgently get healthy enough to play during the season. And that's really the reason why we waited so long to put him on IR, because he was making strides and progress at different points of the season where, maybe another week or maybe another 2 weeks. And so when he had that last recent setback late. But so bottom line, I'm just glad that Kirby's in a spot now where he's not trying to urgently get healthy. He's going to have the necessary time to get the rehab and treatment that he needs to get as healthy as he can.
You guys missed something in the physical process with that, like after he signed the extension, that might have, or before he signed it, I guess, that might have, I don't know, made it so that you didn't sign that extension.
Oh no, it just, look, it's one of those things that it just popped up on us, and if we, it just happened. It just happened, and it sucks, when it happens like that. But it does. So all we can do is just adjust, and see how healthy he can get. I know he is, and just move forward. But I wouldn't call it a miss, as if like we knew that and then we did that.
Should you have known it before he signed it? Should you have found it before, when he did his physical, when you before he signed the contract.
I mean, in a perfect world, yeah, that would have been that would have been nice. But in terms of passing exit physicals and all that kind of stuff, we felt that we had the information, and we signed him to extension, and this happened. And look, I mean, early in training camp, when he was going out there, he looked like he was Kirby, and then it just started kind of going down from there. But he did everything he could. He was still a productive player in the games that he was out there from a ball production standpoint, which not even putting a number on the percentage that he was from a health standpoint. But the main goal is just, let's get him healthy.
Can't let you go without
5 more guys. Fulton, Justin, Rachel, and let you have back.
Can't leave this without asking an edge question, Brad. You took a lot of different bites from the apple last year. You went through kind of a multifaceted plan. Muhammad obviously worked out really well. The rest of the collective didn't give you a whole lot. I don't think any of that's under contract next year except for Hassanin, who's kind of in that project ballpark. Yeah. So what did you learn from your approach last year that can maybe help you find that guy to give you something opposite Aiden this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be the same approach that we took last year in terms of the position wasn't ignored in the draft. It just didn't come together like how we would have liked it. To be from a draft standpoint, but Muhammad played really well. I'm not sure how many other teams had an 11 sack and a 14.5 sack guy. I thought the rush was good, but I understand that he's a free agent. Davenport's free agent, so we definitely going to have to look and replenish opposite of Hutch for sure.
All right, there it is. Shout out to Braylon with the comment super chat. There it is.
I'm sure you're happy with Isaac Casal's rookie year, but how did the lack of third-round picks sort of affect what you can do in trade conversations behind the scenes, if at all?
Yeah, you have to always be at peace with that when you actually decide to part ways with that. And even when you're in April in the draft and you're about to part ways with that type of compensation, you have to know that it's gone. And you're not going to have a third-round pick at the trade deadline, and you just have to understand that. I do think there's other creative ways that you can do to supplement a third-round pick when it comes to trades with future picks, players being involved, and all of that. But that's one that you can't have regret or look back on, and you just have to be at peace when you part ways with that compensation. But very, very happy with the growth that Tesla took.
Obviously, there are a lot of factors that contribute to the stagnancy of the run game this year, but just from your perspective, do you expect David Montgomery to be here next year?
Yeah, look.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We got 6 minutes left in the press conference. By May 1st, I'm going to make a prediction on Brad Holmes. David Montgomery, I don't like how he started this he started his answer. David Montgomery is under contract. No discussion. Shut it down. End of discussion. Yo, put in the comment section right now, where do you want Monty to go? I have not heard this press conference until right now. David, you extended him like a year and a half ago. Why is this a question?
Obviously, I know that it was a tough year for him in terms of the lack of touches. And I'm not going to say that we went into it planning for it to be that way. I thought he handled it like a pro. And so, look, those are discussions that we're going to have a lot more in depth in terms of, like what is the best plan for him going forward? Is it somewhere else or whatever the case be.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. I am done. What in the world? Ain't no way. Oh, this team! Yo! Yo! Hey. Yo. Okay. Yo. Yo, hey. This team this team can't be serious. So that okay. I can't even, dog. Is it somewhere else? How about, you know what? I am tired. I'm tired. I am this close to saying Brad Holmes is not it. Like this close, even without free agency or the draft. So let's recap, Shell. We got a few more minutes of the press conference. You let Jamal, you know what? Brad Holmes, I don't think he's the guy. He's not the guy. He does a lot of talking. Jamal Williams, you did a lot of talking. Remember Jamal Williams felt disrespected? I see why now. Brad Holmes could have came out and said, yo, David Montgomery is him. I will go get an offensive coordinator who knows how to use his skill set. But no. Oh, no, I drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. I have to wear the positional value villain hoodie. I got to be right all the time. I need you to put some respect on my name, so I'm going to let him go after you signed him to an extension. You're going to let, what do you mean, or somewhere else? That's not even a question. Or somewhere else. This team is crazy. If it's here or, what do you mean if it's here or some? Of course it's here. Here or someone else. If I'm Monty, I am packing up my U-Haul right now. I'm out. The best fit. So let me get this straight. You are going to, okay, who do you got down the pipeline? Again, another dumb decision that Bradley Mathias might make. You got a running back under contract that you are going to cut to get who? You're going to waste a draft pick, Brad, You're going to go with Jacob Sailors, Brad? You got Monty, Sonic and Knuckles, and or somewhere else? So that means, so let me get this straight. Jahmyr Gibbs is the every down back. How about the best decision is for you to say here, we'll get an OC that knows how to utilize Montgomery and Gibbs. How about David Montgomery is a priority? How about there is no other fit but here? You signed him to an extension after 1 year. After 1 year, you signed him. And now, or somewhere else? David Montgomery is an upgrade over Jamal Williams. There's no doubt about it. But now, remember now, Jamal Williams was the very first guy that kind of brought some smoke as far as how Brad Holmes treats people. Josh Reynolds, I know y'all can't stand him, but he was a priority. And now, a guy who's under contract. Oh, before that, Zadarius Smith. So, David Montgomery is not safe. If I'm him, I'll leave. Forget it. Forget it. I'll go somewhere else. This team is crazy. This is ridiculous. Jahmyr Gibbs, the lead back.
But just really appreciate everything that he has done for us if it does end up going that way.
What are you talking about? I cannot, dog. I can't. Oh, my God. Shout out to Charles. Super chat. After those comments, for me, it was clear Brad's problem with this team is not Dan. I don't get how anyone can defend him. Dog, if it goes that way, I cannot believe this. Why did you re-sign him then? David Montgomery had a 3-year deal. You re-signed him after 1. He is under contract for 2 more seasons. What are you talking about? You find a way. You find a way to make this work. Y'all ready? Look, we all love Jahmyr Gibbs. Are you ready for Jahmyr Gibbs to be the lead back? I'm not. I love Jahmyr. Jahmyr ain't ready. Sweet spot for Gibbs, 15, 17 yard carries a game. If it goes that way, the heck are you talking about, bro? Okay. So now 2 fireable offenses. Trade David Montgomery, re-sign Marcus Davenport. And you know why trading David Montgomery is a fireable offense? Because you signed him and extended him. Because you won't find a way to make it work. Because you are assuming that Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be the lead back, or you're going to waste the free agency signing on a running back, or you're going to draft a running back. And we need so much more. We have 2 running backs under contract. And if it goes that way, if I'm Monty, you know what? Monty's gone. Dave Montgomery is gone. This is a Darius Smith 2.0. I
hope it doesn't, because we love David Montgomery. He's a good football player.
Well, then you don't start like that. You don't start like that. You go in and you tell David Montgomery, yo, I hear you. I see you. I'll get you an OC. We make it work. Believe in us. We'll take care of you. Shout out to Ryan with the super chat. David doesn't have as much grit as Davenport does. Monty needs to get hurt a little first to deserve a roster spot.
Wish we would have been able to get more utilization from him. I know Dan feels the same way. But, those are conversations that we're going to have because got a lot of respect for that player. He deserves to be in a situation where his skill set can be utilized. And so, we'll love it for it to be here. But if it can't be here, then you would have to just see which you can work out the best for him.
Hey, Brad, have you
If it can't be here, it's been here. If it can't be here, it's been here. Brad might be a buffoon, bro. If it can't, it literally has been here with Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery have always been teammates as long as Jahmyr Gibbs has been in the league. David Montgomery came out and defended Jahmyr Gibbs the other day. What do you mean if it can't be here? You know what? I see why players don't come back here. Josh Reynolds, burned. Jamal Williams, burned. What do you mean if? It was working. No complaints from either one of them last year and the year before that. Get an OC, fix this, win games. If it can't, what are you talking about? If I'm Monty, I'm like, what do you mean if? You just extended me after 1 year. That's how much.
Dan had end-of-season meetings with Sheila Hemp, and has she expressed any sort of more urgent?
John, my homie, hey, here's what I need y'all to do. After we're done, I need you to go over to Detroit Lions on SI, and I need you to spam in the comment section, John is the homie. Shout out to the Frozen Member Gang Super Chat. Says it's almost as though he pulling a Bobby Ross. What's a guy to do to get fired around here? You stupid, bro. Appreciate you. I want you after we're done, we'll be off in the next 15 minutes. College football is on. Go over to Detroit Lions on SI and spam whatever I said earlier. We'll put Lions Syndicate said, Lions Syndicate, I don't know, put whatever you want. Just make sure you know you coming from over here.
For you guys to push to get to the Super Bowl and win it in 2026? What's been her mind?
Yeah, we'll love it for it to be here. Situation where you would have to just
meetings with Sheila Hemp, and has she expressed any sort of more urgency for you guys to push to get to the Super Bowl and win it in 2026? What's been her mindset for this for what happened this year?
Yeah, we have had conversations with her. Keep that privately, but always the hope is to get to a Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. That's not changed going forward this year. That was obviously the goal the past couple years. So that still remains. And it's not only I don't even need to hear that from her. I'm the one that's on my mind constantly is, having the ability to put that trophy in her hands. So I don't sleep well at night unless that happens. And she's aware of that. But yeah, we've had conversations, and she's always, the great thing about her is she's always consistent. Yeah, we'll just keep the details private.
Hey, let's go.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
I told you, bro. That's a man with heat to the cheeks. Hey, I told you. Bam, 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 bam. Hey.
Just back to safety briefly. When healthy, that tandem's probably the best in the NFL. But with Kirby and BB both looking at injuries that could impact next season and maybe even beyond, in the case of Kirby, how pressing does that need feel at safety this offseason? Yeah,
it's a fair question because of the obvious. Again, we're just going to need to get more information from where those players are at. And that's the hard part of when you make certain decisions, when you're dealing with players, when it comes to medical, is that at the end of the day, you just see the final result. Is a player available or not? But we get so much updates on a daily basis, a weekly basis, in terms of the progression that those players are making, and that informs the decisions that we make. So it's a little early to say, but that position is just another position on the roster. So it's not going to be ignored. We always want to build the most quality depth as we possibly can. So whether it's safety, I felt that we did, even expecting both of those players to be available all of this year, I felt that we took about as aggressive an approach as we could, building depth. But again, it comes down to what's available truly, what teams are willing to do. But I do think that the guys did step up. I did think that, I think we were able to claim a young Thomas Harper that's going to be, he's played a lot, obviously, this year. That wasn't the plan, but he did an admirable job. But we know that he can be a depth role, if needed. He can play a lot of special teams. I thought Avonte Maddox stepped up when he had to. I thought Daniel Thomas stepped up when he had to. Eric Hallett, when we had him, he stepped in and did some things. So, but it's not going to be ignored just like any other position on the roster. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Man, oh man. This was a very, very, very telling press conference. I want to show you how he ended this thing. Let me see. Him walking off. Look, watch this.
Had him, he stepped in and did some things. So, but it's not going to be ignored just like any other position on the roster. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That is I'm feeling some type of way. So, here's my thoughts. My thoughts on this presser is that Dan is now feeling the heat to both cheeks. Martha, Sheila said what they had to say. His entire demeanor. It was very little smugness in that entire press conference. Shout out to Will with the super chat. Let me see. I feel like I missed another one. Appreciate 5601 with the recruit membership. Says Ray Agnew would be an excellent hire. Derek, it's time to look elsewhere and can this dude. Well, Ray Agnew is here. He's here already. So, and we gonna make our time. Brad did a lot of talking. He did a lot of talking. He contradicted himself a lot, but now it is off-season time, and he is going to have to show. He's going to have to put his money where his mouth is. I believe that Sheila has had a conversation with both him. My prophecy came true. A conversation has been had. Because when you are last, and the Lions weren't second in the division. They weren't like they sucked. They were 9-8. They were 12-5. They were 15-2. And then they were second in the division. They were in the basement. They were the last place in the division. I believe that these guys feel the heat. They feel the heat, and that our predictions are going to come true. Now, if Brad Holmes comes out with the exact same strategy, he is going to fail. He doesn't have time to fix it necessarily. Now he has to be perfect. So you had your window of like trial and experimentation. You had that, and you blew it. So now you can ace this thing. You knock it out of free agency. You knock it out the park in the draft. You wind up in the Super Bowl. If they make the Super Bowl, you give them more time. If they don't, you don't. And then this time next year, we're talking about these two guys having there's a different general manager to the coach. What I saw from Brad Holmes was a level of humbleness that I haven't seen before. But words are cool. Action means more. if the Lions do not now they got a lot of holes to fill. And I'm actually, a part of me is kind of excited about this, the fact that Brad has put himself in this corner, and now he's got to fix it. So if you want to be labeled the greatest general manager the Detroit Lions have ever seen, if you want to be labeled the GOAT, if you want to wear your positional value hoodie and you are up at night thinking about the Super Bowl trophy that you owe the Detroit Lions, then show us. You know what you do? You go out and you sign. You know what? We're about to have a segment as we wrap up the show. Brad Holmes' season-ending presser was today, and he said a lot. He said a lot. One thing near the end that he said that I want to know if he's going to actually follow through is that he's up at night thinking about bringing the Detroit fan base, Sheila, the fan base, to Super Bowl. Brad, here's how you make that happen. One way. Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell got to restructure. One of them or all three got to restructure. If Brad Holmes, it's already come out that the Lions are already looking at Mike McDaniel. You know what you do? You go get Tyler Lindenbaum in free agency, and you sign Trey Hendrickson. You make it work. You draft a developmental, or you got Ahmed Hassanin, not a developmental, but a guy that could start next year. You put Trey opposite Aiden. You've got Tyler as your center. You figure out the left tackle. Do you move Penei to left tackle? Find a right tackle, get a guard, left guard, right guard, whatever you got to do. How Brad attacks free agency will show us what we need to know. If he uses the same approach in free agency and the draft, because it's one complete picture, then you will know exactly who Brad is. He is out of time. You ever seen the Fast and the Furious, whichever one with Gal Gadot? She's on the plane. The runway is like 50 miles. That's what Brad Holmes is on. You're at the end of the runway. You are out of time. If you truly believe that you want to get this team better, you will do what needs to be done. Shout out to Rufus with the super chat. Says, what's up, big dog? This man said he has trouble sleeping at night thinking about putting a trophy in Sheila's hands, but he also said there's no stress. Which one is it? Well, you know what? Last year, there was no stress. This year, there is. We watched an entire 42-minute press conference of a guy who was under pressure. Shout out to John, the doc, asked a tough question. Last one. What does Sheila think of what you guys are? Have you had conversations with Sheila? The answer was yes. Yes. And I think that those conversations, based on Brad Holmes' demeanor, are serious. Listen, we believe in you. We hired you. We extended you. Now it's time to finish the job. In that conversation, do you think you could have had extension talks? Listen, the fact that he didn't say when exactly he talked to Sheila, but his body language all stream has shown you that he talked to Sheila. I want to show you him walking off. This is him walking off his press conference today. All his demeanor, cracked one or two smiles the entire 42-minute press conference. This question that comes from the doc. Matter of fact, go over there and make sure you tell the doc, Lions Syndicate said, good question. Way to represent today. Whatever you want to do, just let them know Lions Syndicate sent you. He's asked, right now, Doc has asked him about Sheila. And as the press conference is coming to an end, Brad Holmes' entire demeanor, look at the way he walks off. Head is instantly down. Again, not a body language expert, but we're going to put this in. Let's go here. And I'm going to put this in 2.5 speed when he turns around. There's so much to dissect from this entire thing. He is not in any way feeling like there's a lot of time. Shout out to Tell with the super chat, says 2026 may be Brad's last stand. If the Lions season becomes a flop, it all lies on him. Otherwise, Sheila would have to start making decisions. It's more on him than coach. The pressure is on him right now. That's 100%. All right, look at his face. Now watch this. Watch him walk off the stage. Look at that face. Look at this face, bro. This is a face of I failed you, disappointment. Eyes are closed. You know, forehead is creased. Look at that. Head is down. He not even a foot away from the microphone. And he already know. Brad Holmes, I'm gonna tell you this. Nothing would make me happier than these two guys bringing a title to Detroit. I want to believe in both of them together as a unit. But right now there is a division. It is with Brad Holmes. The first part of the press conference was Brad almost mimicking exactly Dan Campbell's words. And we talked about this. What was Brad going to say after Dan Campbell came out and said what he said? He almost like word for word. He followed him. There's a possibility that Brad Holmes is not the guy. And I'm going to tell you what. May 1st, we'll know. We will know May 1st. And as we go into 2026, anything less than a Super Bowl appearance is a failure. Point blank, period. There's no more, we have to make the Super Bowl. There's no winning the division. There's no NFC Championship game. There's no 15-2. There's none of that. It is Super Bowl appearance or bust. If he does not change in the necessary ways, he's not the guy. And it's time to finally admit that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Off season is here. This picture. You look at this. Let me see if I can go back. Right to when he started walking away. And this entire press conference was the exact same way. Very little smiling. There was not the snarky remarks. It was a little bit of gesturing, but he feels the pressure. This is what I wanted to see. Now, show me, Brad, what do you have in store for this team? What are you going to do for this team? Look at that face. This is after Doc's question. He's looking around, question. Look at the face. Look at all of this right there. That is the face of a failure. Or as Lions 2-month member syndicate recruit puts it, cooked. That is a face of a guy that is currently cooked. So let me know what you think in the comments below. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You can be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. All right, y'all. Appreciate you. Miami, Ole Miss is on right now, about to get started. I want to thank everybody, super chatting, members, all that. Listen, shout out to my man. Hold on. Shout out to Master Chief, one of the founding members of the channel. 20 months, director tier, top level. Says after this press conference, I am still not convinced to buy season tickets. Hey, Master Chief, I'm still on the wait list. You can come with me, bro. I'm going to be looking like every game is going to be somebody different. So I'll touch base with you off the air. How do you feel after the press conference? Do you feel good? Do you feel good? Do you feel that there's going to be change? By May 1st, we'll know what we're going to get. If Brad, Trey, and Tyler, and just move after move, the draft, he's aggressive. We know that he's at least trying. If he doesn't, then we know who we got. And it's going to be up to that team to make it. But with that being the case, we're going to wrap it up. And, yeah, I look forward to hearing you guys back in the comment section. All right, y'all. Good night. And let's go out like we came in. Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for rocking with me for 2 hours, man. Shout out to Omaha Steaks. I heard they taste like trash. I would never promote something that tastes like trash. Brad Holmes in front of the media today. I want you know what? Here we go. Said, we ain't good, but we still good. Oh, no, that's me. That's how I hold the mic. Right now, that's Brad Holmes, man. That tells you a man that knows that he is on the outside and he's got to get it together. So what did you gain from this press conference? Did you feel any different? I feel like this is a man right here that knows that his job and his cheeks is on the seat. We're not talking about just a little warm. We talking about turned up to high. Said he had a conversation with Sheila, and Sheila said what she had to say, but if you look back at this entire thing, man, you can see Brad Holmes and how he was looking. Never really was excited, never was in a joking mood. His demeanor was sad. He realized that he's failed this team. Shout out to Omaha Steaks and the Hair Club for Men. What do you guys expect for the season and the offseason coming up? Is Brad Holmes going to say we good or we good? Or is he going to try to make actual moves to make this happen? I want you to pay close attention to this body language here. Look at this face. That's the face of a man that knows he has failed this team. From positional value villain to down and sad, and look at this. This actually makes me a little bit excited because I'm trying to wonder what to expect this offseason. Game Boy says Brad has to go out singing nothing, swinging nothing else. That's 100%. I go out singing, he goes out swinging. Look at this face right here, man. That is a face of a man who has failed this team. Watch the way that he walks off the press conference. That's a face of I'm lucky to have my job, even though I don't believe in luck. And right there is the scene of a man who knows that he has failed this team. So here's where I'm at, y'all. I'm going to give Brad Holmes this last offseason, free agency and the draft by May 1st. I will have a good idea of who we're dealing with for sure. And if we don't make a Super Bowl, he needs to be fired. That's it. You had all that swag, all that talk, yelling in the elevator, all of that rhetoric for us to miss the playoffs and be last place in the division. Pap says Brad ego is crushed. And I couldn't have put it better myself, my brother. But listen, I want y'all to enjoy the offseason. Enjoy college football. Enjoy time away from the Detroit Lions, but we'll be here to give you some sneaky good moves. I can't tell you what they are, just know that they're sneaky. Ladies and gentlemen, Lions Syndicate on the ones and twos. I'll see you guys in the next video, and take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.